Hello, welcome to Quackalope, and today I have the opportunity to bring you a fascinating solo game by vanryder Games, Final Girl. Now, this is a game that I had the opportunity to play down at TantrumCon a few months back, and I was really fascinated and intrigued by the modular nature of the gameplay experience as a whole. There's a lot of pieces and parts that can be shifted in and out, whether it's the villain that you're going after, sort of the horror that you're facing down, the location that you're experiencing or kind of exploring through, or even the final girl that you're playing. There is a really nice modularity to the way that this solo game builds upon itself. But then the thing that really intrigued me, the sticking point, and if you're familiar with Quackalope, you'll probably guess what that is: the theme. The way that the gameplay experience builds and reinforces this movie trope, this horror movie sort of scene. You can really visualize and see and tell the story that's unfolding before you. Whether you're playing at Camp Happy Trails with Hans, or the poltergeist at a haunted house, or mixing and matching any series of their sort of episodes together, you really do feel like you're existing and exploring this space. And if you're a visual player like me, so you see kind of everything that's unfolding as you guard or focus or sprint or pull people down a ladder trying to get them to safety as quickly as possible, or as Hans walks up with a sledgehammer and bashes one of their heads in, you can really visualize and feel and experience the tropes of a classic horror movie through the gameplay of this game. Now, I'm not going to be bringing you a full how to play or anything along those lines. In fact, One Stop Co-op Shop did a fantastic job breaking down the components, the steps of the game, and his final thoughts of the game. So, if you're interested in checking out some of those more analytical elements, swing over there and take a look. That's what I did before sitting down to play this game. Instead, I'm just going to swing into the gameplay as quickly and efficiently as I can, even though people that watch this know that I have a habit of talking maybe longer than I should, and of course pausing to read a little bit of flavor text here in just a second. Along with that, I have the other modular system, so I have the Poltergeist at the Creepy Manor, and I'm planning on playing both of those as an exclusive video for my Patreon community. So if this is a game you like, or you just like the gameplay experience as a whole, swing over there and check that video out as well. All that being said, let me very quickly run you through the flavor text and what we have laid out here so you understand what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to accomplish throughout the course of the game, and then we will go ahead and just swing right into this. So, are you ready? Final Girl. Something's happened. Someone is dead. Everyone is panicking. You try to find something, anything to use as a weapon. A scared teenager is nearby and pleads with you to help them escape. Then, suddenly, you hear a noise. Someone is there. You look around trying to see who or what is there, but it's so dark. In a flash, the killer appears and decapitates the teenager, whose wide-eyed head rolls and stops at your feet. The killer points at you without saying a word and then turns to find another victim. You run the other way, escape, the only thing on your mind. That, and the screams you can't ignore, more victims. There is death and carnage all around, and only then do you realize that there is only one way you will survive: kill or be killed. Everyone else is dead. You are the final girl. So, that is the set or premise of the game. I'm going to leave the rulebook over here to the side just in case I need to reference anything throughout the course of the gameplay. I think I have a pretty good sense of it. It's not too complicated. In fact, it's built off the framework of some of their, I believe one of their older games, which I haven't actually played. So this is the first time that I'm experiencing this framework and style of gameplay coming from vanryder Games, and I think it's really cool. There is some luck, there is some dice rolling, but there's a reasonable amount of luck mitigation and some opportunity to kind of offset that. So very quickly, let's run through what I did to set up this gameplay experience and what the object of the game is, and then we will go ahead and swing into the gameplay. The object of the game is exactly what the flavor text set up. I'm either going to kill Hans, the butcher, or be killed by Hans, the butcher. Now I'm going to be able to do that by building my deck and playing cards, using a limited resource of time, and trying to mitigate or avoid the growing horror that's existing here in Camp Happy Tales. Now the boards I have in front of me, I have Hans' board. He is the villain. I have drafted 2 separate cards, one of which is his Dark Power. This is an ability he gets if his terror deck is ever depleted. I also have his health down here to the side, and this is sort of his chart tracking how many victims he's taken a hold of and slaughtered throughout the course of the game. Next, I have Camp Happy Trails. This is the location we are playing at, and the setup for this version is the bonfire. So that means there are a lot of students. I have a marker here indicating all 6 of these students are gathered around a bonfire. I also have 1 person over here in a hut and 2 people at makeout point. So I might be able to rescue them, or Hans might show up and ruin their day before. Hans is going to be the little red marker here. I'm going to be the little blue marker here, and I believe I start, over here on the side. Now, for the actual core copy of the game, they will have miniatures. This is a prototype version. Please keep that in mind as I'm showing everything off. So here in Camp Happy Trails, I have 3 locations where I can search for items: the utility shed, the cabins, and the dock. Up here, I can see what items I have available. I have a first aid kit, a bear trap, and a trash can lid. These are items, and there's a deck of other items that I can dig for at each of these locations. Now, there is a stack of items that I am currently not using, adding to kind of the modular nature of this game, which I just think is really cool. There's a lot of shifting elements every time you sit down to experience a new game. I have drawn 2 event cards here. They set kind of the environment that we're playing in. The first is a secret tunnel. The utility shed and the cabins are adjacent. I can only bring 1 victim with me, so one of these little survivors here can come with me through the tunnel, and our guy, Hans the Butcher, cannot go through that location. So if I want to jump from one side of the board to the other, I can do that. Here's the bad news. I also drew Dark Waters. Whenever a victim enters or is in a lake, they die immediately. So if any of our victims try to escape into the lake, thematically what I'm thinking is some power wires or cables have been hooked up into the water, or maybe there's Hans just laying under there waiting for the current, a little straw popping up, and his arms reach around them and just suck them back into the blackness of the water. That's what I think, right? This is how I play games. I also have a randomized deck of terror cards. These include cards specifically for Hans and cards specifically for the location here. Again, adding to the modularity of it, and I don't know what I'm going to encounter because all of these other cards could have been included in that deck of 10. Finally, down here with the final girl, I have my time track. That is my resource that I get to use throughout the course of the game. It is also a trigger mechanism for sort of some of my cards and actions. It is a consequence, so I lose resource if I have bad rolls or don't mediate them the right way. I have a horror track, which will determine the amount of dice that I'm rolling for each one of my attempts. The more scared I am, the less effective I am at accomplishing any of my cards. And I have selected Lori. Lori has 5 health here, so let's remove one of those. She has a board here, so if I save 6 members, bring them down here onto her sheet, giving her an ability for each one that I save, I get to flip her over. And her special ability is whenever you are in the same space with the killer, inflict damage, do an additional. So she becomes really powerful if she's saved a lot of people. That might be something I want to pay attention to because Hans over here has a total of 12 health, which is not a little. And I don't do math, but I'm pretty sure that's more than 5. And finally, I have my starting hand of cards. Each card here has a cost down in the bottom right corner. So these all cost 0, which means I can buy them and have them in my hand for free. You have a maximum hand size of 10. And then all of these have a cost. These are special abilities or upgrades that I can get throughout the course of the game, given that I have enough time to spend on them. The game's going to progress pretty simply. I have an action phase where I can play cards from my hand, rolling dice, trying to accomplish tasks that I'm taking. I then have a spend phase where I use my time to upgrade my hand and restock sort of this area here. I then have a killer phase. That's where I draw a terror card. He does his basic action, which right now is a stab. And then I have a upkeep phase. That's where I rearrange the items in my hand if I'm carrying anything with me, and I can start thinking through or preparing for the next cycle. And that's the game. Either I die a horrible death and the horror movie continues with episode 2 or 3, Hans coming back inflicting havoc on maybe other locations or coming back to Camp Happy Trails here, or maybe he's just a villain that exists perpetually. Or Lori is invincible, and she actually accomplishes her goal and ends the suffering of this small kind of backwoods summer camp. That's the thought. So let's go ahead and swing into this. And of course, sitting over here to the side, for any of you that are aware, we have Quackalope's classic arch nemesis here, a beautiful little green mouse. And so we will see if we are actually able to overcome the power and dexterity of Green Mouse himself, who is currently inhabiting, well, I cannot get him to balance on there, but is currently inhabiting the spirit of the butcher. Maybe he's like living in the pocket of the butcher or something like that, whispering little things, directing this mad pig-faced man with the hammer to kind of move around and strike. All right. I feel as prepared as I can be, but also entirely unequipped to deal with this. So it's going to start with me. Top of my round, I have a few actions I can take. I've got 2 walks, 2 focuses, a weak attack, and a short rest. Now, I am going to have to discard some of these cards to accomplish some of my goals, I think. Now, starting off here, the things I'm thinking through are the items that I can potentially collect, and then also trying to get any of my victims here over to a green zone so that they escape and I can start buffing up my girl. I think getting her card flipped is going to be really important just because of that extra damage I can do. So my initial inclination is to maybe start heading over here in this direction. There is such a pile of kids sitting around the bonfire, being able to rescue a few of them before he shows up and just murders them all. So let's start here with a walk action and see what we're able to do. So when I take an action, I'll glance here. I'm currently rolling 2 dice to try to accomplish. If I have 2 successes, I can move up to 2 spaces. If I have 1 success, I can move 1 space, both of which are losing me time. If I have no successes, I can move 1 space, lose a health, which is a valuable resource, and lose 2 time, or just lose 2 time. Does not... Okay, well, we're not gonna fail. The good thing is, I'm really good at solo games. I currently have a 3 and a 4. Now, this is where dice mitigation comes in. I could choose to have both of those as failures, doing this last action here, or I could pay 2 cards, both for any 3s rolled or any 4s rolled, to so discard cards from my hand, meaning they're actions I don't get to take, but I do get 1 or 2 successes. I am going to do that. I don't think I need the weak attack at the moment, and I don't think I need the short rest at the moment. So I'm going to pay both of those cards to get 1 success for this, which will allow me to move 1 space, and I will lose a time. Oh, let's just head over in this direction, and let's see if we can maybe potentially succeed on a walk here. I did get 1 success. Now, I got a 3, so I could move 2 more spaces if I wanted with my focus, or I could move up here to the dock. Let's see what the option is to get at the dock at the moment. Discard Bear Trap during the action phase for -2 time and place it in your space, not on the lake. If the killer enters the space with a bear trap, immediately end the killer's phase. The killer receives 2 damage. I think on my way to rescue some people, I really probably want to be able to pick that up. And I can buy a search icon here. So let's move into the dock. And let's end my turn there. I don't think I need to do my focuses at the moment, and I don't want too many cards out of my hand in case I need cards to be able to guarantee that I have a successful search roll. So I'm down here at 5. That's going to be the end of my action phase. These are going to go into a discard pile and then get restocked into the market after I've made my selection. So these are free cards, but after you've used them once, you have to wait for an entire round before you get them back into your hand again. So moving down, purchase action cards. I'm purchasing a search for 2, and then I have 3 that I could spend. I could get a close call and a sprint. I could get a distraction, which helps mediate this a little bit. Could get an improvise, which would guarantee successes. That's not a bad card. I think, however, I want to move a little bit farther. So let's grab a sprint, and let's grab a close call for the rest of my value. Restock this back up to 6, and then move down here to the killer phase. the killer performs the killer ability, which is stab in his location. So he starts madly swinging his butcher cleaver. He is on the way. Then we're going to draw one terror card. Hans wants me. He's always wanted me. So he is coming after me, coming in my direction. He is going to target me, move 2 in my direction, and then stab whoever's there. And 1, 2, he can do a stab action. There is someone in this location, so in his fury coming after me in my direction, he sees kind of a girl running out of the back of a bush, grabs her by the scruff of her hair, and just, and then lets her fall down. We will add this to dead. We'll move his marker down here, showing that he is slowly becoming more powerful. And that's it. That's his phase. Yeah, we're off to a good start. He's only murdered 1 person at this point, but he's really close to a campfire, which is concerning. That's a bad... So they, sitting around singing campfire songs, cannot hear the young man or the young girl screaming just in the cabin right next to them. Okay. Upkeep phase, rearrange items. So I can rearrange any items that I'm carrying, and I will also restock these back into the deck here. And it is back up to the top of the round. It is back up to me. And let's go ahead and do that search action here. So, search. With 2 successes, I will be able to look at both items and take 1. With 1 success, I can just take the top one, which is the one I was going after anyway, and we cannot afford to fail. So, I got a 3. I can mediate this, and I really think I'm going to need to. So, let's spend the cheapest cards I have. Let's get rid of both of these focuses to guarantee this 3 is actually a single success, and get myself a bear trap. Now the bear trap is going to go into my backpack here. I'll scoot some of these over. So the bear trap is going to go into my backpack. I can use this ability at any point as long as I pay the price. If it was in my hand, I can only carry 2 things in my hand. You only have 2 hands, or 1 thing that takes 2 hands to use. And I have to rearrange my items in order to have those available to me on future turns. I still have sprint and close call ready. I think close call I might hold on to for a little bit. I could get in here with sprint and maybe be able to take some people with me to rescue. That's dangerous though. I mean, I could move 3 spaces, so I might be able to get in there. I could also lay the bear trap. That might be worth it, because I'm pretty sure he's coming in there. Let's try this. Little risky. I need at least 1 success, or I'm in trouble. That'll be it. That allows me to move 2 spaces. 1, 2. Oh, and I forgot. Search is going to cost me 1 time. This is going to cost me 1 time. So I move into this location. I'm going to spend 2 time to go ahead and use that bear trap. And it is going to be placed down. Let's use a little marker here to show the bear trap is placed down in that location. So if he enters there, he's going to take 2 damage. And potentially stab me. Maybe. Although he will always go after survivors first unless otherwise indicated. Alright, all I have left in here is going to be close call. I don't think I need to use that. Let's go ahead and continue on with this. So, moving down here, purchase phase. I only have 2 left to purchase. Let's get another sprint in my hand, because I know I'm going to get restocked with all of these free cards, so I can at least run away, or get some people to safety. Run away. I mean, I'm helping them. I'm not really, and then we will go ahead and move down to the killer phase. He's going to stab in this location. There is no one to stab in that location. And draw a card. That girl, what's her name? She can help us. Place 2 new victims at the final girl's starting location. Okay. So they are popping in here. Because for some reason they feel like they can help us. We are going to raise his horror level by 1. And then we are drawing a new event card. Death Wish. During upkeep phase, move the victim closest to the killer 1 space towards it. Do not count victims currently in the same space as the killer. Cool. So they're just going to slowly start wandering in his direction because they, for some reason, are dumb and they'd like to get... I mean, it's that same, like, the side characters in any of these movies are sort of peeking through doors, and it's like, don't go into the attic. Do not go into the lake. What are you... And they do. They do anyway because that's how... It's just kind of how it works. So we are now moving down to the upkeep phase where one of our number here will wander into the killer's location, which might actually prevent him from moving into my location. That would be good, but also really unfortunate because I want him to move in there and hit the bear trap. And then finally, we're going to rearrange items. I have no items to rearrange, and let's go ahead and restock this deck here. So free cards, search cards. Okay, back up to the top of the round. And I think... Oh yeah, and he didn't move in there that turn either. Now, I can move in here, but I cannot bring someone with me when I move in there, but I could remove that person from the location and help rescue them. Let's maybe do that. Let's maybe pop in there and see if we can get them out. So let's do a walk action. I have a sprint, but I don't want to use that if I don't have to. One success. That allows me to move into this location. So I'm popping in. I'm like, no, no, no. Come with me. Come with me. Let's sprint. I'm going to have to mediate that 4. So I have a weak attack. I might want to use that. I have another walk as well. Could move 2 spaces, 1, 2, and actually free them if I do that. Let's do this. Get rid of the walk, get rid of the short rest. But before I already sprinted. That's too bad. I should have used this weak attack. Because I didn't, let's keep walk, get rid of weak attack to pay for this. Move 1, 2, you're free. Let's see. Walk, that cost me 2 time total. So I'm down to 4. Let's go ahead and give me a little bit more time maybe. And let's do another walk action. If I'm able to get 2 successes on this, I can actually pop in here, get both of them, and rescue both of them as well. So that would be really nice. I get no successes, so I could move 1 space, lose a health, and pay 2 time, or I could go ahead and just pay 2 time and not move at all. I think I'm going to do that because I don't want to lose any health. I do not have a lot to spare. That's going to be the end of my turn. I'm holding on to this close call card here in my hand. And we're going to move down to my purchase phase. So I have 4. Let's buy another sprint for 2. And then let's maybe buy... I was thinking a search could be nice for 2 as well. I would like to get some more items, so maybe get this into my hand and get set up for kind of the next round. Because if I can move next round, I can get to either the shed or the dock and actually start searching for things again. Moving down to the killer phase. Stabby, stabby, stabby there. He's not going to have anyone to attack. Horrific hammer rush. He's going to target our meeples. He's going to move twice and stab twice. And each victim killed during the terror phase is going to increase the horror by 1. So he's going to move in where there is a huddle of students around the fire. He is first going to step on a bear trap, which is great. Immediately enter the killer phase. Oh! I trapped him! This is awesome! The killer enters the space of the bear trap, immediately end the killer's phase. The killer receives 2 damage. So he wanders into this fire pit. I've laid out this bear trap, kind of covered it up with some leaves and stuff. He's stalking them. They're all sitting around singing some campfire songs and just having a lovely day. Kind of lifts the hammer up, getting ready to strike. You can see the flicker in the flames, and then you hear a loud and it closes around his leg. Now, none of the students notice because he doesn't actually kill anyone, so none of them are going to run away, which could be a problem. Could be a problem, but it's not a problem to worry about at the moment, because at the moment, he's going to go ahead and take 2 damage. That is fantastic. All right, moving down to the upkeep phase. I don't have any items to rearrange. We will stock back the market here. And back onto me. I've got a close call, a sprint, and a search. Now, my initial thinking was to try to rescue both of them. That might still be worth it, but I do have to deal with him soon. So, 6 here. Let's do a sprint. Still rolling 2 dice because his horde did not increase. That is going to be an epic failure. I can take a... Okay. Take a damage, lose 2 time, move 1 space, take a damage, lose 2 time, and end my turn. And there is no way for me to guarantee... However, close call. I'm going to reroll all the dice for a cost of 2 time. Won't actually go there. Let's play that. Come on. There we are. 1 success, 1 thing that I could mediate. I don't have the cards necessary to mediate that at the moment, but I do get to move 2 spaces. Come in here, grab them, usher them into the safe zone. And let's reduce his horror by 1. And let's take a cost 2 or less action card. I'm going to do the sprint again. Pop that into my thing. Okay. And I could technically keep going because I now have the sprint in my hand. Let's do that. Let's keep going, move back into the dock, and see what other items we can find. And I do have to pay 1 for that movement. 2 successes move up to 3 spaces. So I could get to the dock. I could also get to the utility shed, and the utility shed is directly adjacent to the cabins. Let's see what we have here. Whenever you receive damage from the killer, reduce it by 1. That's not bad at all. I think I'm going to move there. 1, 2, 3. And I need to play the search action. Or do I play that at the top of the round when I have cards that can mediate? I think I'm going to stop here. I'm going to save it for the top of the round. So, moving down. Purchase action cards. So that cost me 1 to do, so I have 2 left. I could buy another search. Let's do that. Let's double up on our searches there in that location. The killer is going to stab in this location, so he pries open the bear trap, walks up behind one of the students, and just slides the knife into their back. The other students then see this pig-faced man come out of the shadows, the firelight flickering in his eyes, and they're going to panic. So one of them is going to die. He's going to drop his thing here, and then all of these students are going to start sprinting away from this. Now, the way sprinting or panicking works is they're going to be moved based on some dice roll. So we will roll 4 dice and resolve where they are going. 4, 1, 2, and 6. So 1 student will go here, 1 will go here, 1 is going to stay here in the location, and 1 is going to go across to here. So they have now scattered. Now we're going to drop another terror card. This is a minor power. Hans adds an additional damage for each knife attack. It's going to pop up here, and he is going to gain 2 more health with that minor unholy rage that he has. Good, because I wanted to make sure that bear trap didn't do anything to him anyway. Perfect. Okay. Moving back onto me, we're going to the upkeep phase. Rearrange items if I had any. Restock the market here. I no longer have any sprint. Oh, and I forgot to buy these in last turn, so these should all be in my hand now. And we are at the utility shed. Let's go ahead and do our search actions. 2 dice still. That is 1 success. I think I'm okay with that. Let's take this off the top here. And I'm going to go ahead and add that into my hand, so that's going to offset that ability he just got. Let's do another one. Let's try to guarantee another success. 4 and 2. Let's pay so that I get whatever the top thing is. Let's get rid of my weak attack. And I still don't need a short rest because I haven't taken any damage yet. Let's see what else we find. I dig a little bit more and I find a flashlight. Once per action phase, for time, you may look at the top card of the terror deck, leave it in place, or at the bottom of the deck. Okay, interesting. I don't know if I'm going to use that much, because time is expensive, and I really need to get some of my more powerful attacks, but it is good to have that ability. Now, both of those took 1 time each, and now I can walk and focus. I think it might be worthwhile to jump across the map here, get into the cabins where I can go ahead and pick up that first aid kit. So let's start walking. That is not going to be a success. Let's pay a walk and a focus to make it a 1 success. Pay the time I need, move all the way over here. And I think I'm good there. I think that's going to resolve my turn. Let's go ahead and... I just realized I'm kind of stuck, so let's buff myself this turn and maybe put myself in a position where I can pick up and search that location next turn, potentially. I feel like I'm going to be in trouble because he's going to murder a lot of people very quickly. And I really need to get that card flipped. I think that's going to be a big deal for me. So, I have a total of 3 that I can use to purchase action cards. I think I'm going to buy a guard and another close call. That'll all be 3. It'll reset up to 6. Moving down to the killer phase, he is going to perform a stab attack here. The last fleeing victim who sort of cowered down in the corner, was unable to get the courage to stand up and run, is going to fall prey to his hammer fairly easily, which will up him by 1 again. Oh, and I forgot, his horror level should have went up by 1 here in this location. Same difference, it would have been 6 instead of 5. And then I'm going to draw 1 terror card. He's just standing there. So up by 2, we are now rolling 1 dice until I can get rid of that. He is going to target either me or the victims, and he is going to move twice. So he's going to move right there in that direction. Okay, it's back up to me. We're going to restock our market here. All the cards I used, all those searches that I actually need. It is a shame I don't have access to them. And back onto my turn. All I have is a guard, focus, and close call. Focus could be important here, though, because a success for time will let me get rid of some of his horror. Let's try that. I only get to roll 1 dice because I am in horror at the moment. It's a 1. That is not going to be successful. I'm going to lose 2 time trying to do that. And I think that's all I'm going to do. Yeah, I think that's really all I can do. Purchase phase. I need to buy a search for 2. Then I have 2 more I can spend. Well, I get all of these free ones. Let's go ahead and buy a sprint for 2 as well. I really need to get over here and get some of these other students rescued. If I can. These would be pretty easy to rescue, but I have to get the whole way across the map in order to do that. So maybe targeting those at kind of make-out point there would be the best bet. Let's see what happens. So, moving down to the killer phase. Killer is going to stab in this location. Successfully catches the other student by there at the cabin. This is sort of a killing field. He's very good at taking care of them there. Horror is going to increase. It is unable to increase. I'm just in a lot of trouble because he's going to be doing 3 damage, and soon he's going to be moving 2 steps per move. Horror is also going to increase again. He's going to target either a character or me, and he is going to move and then stab. So these characters are going to be the closest, move into that location, stabbing one of them, and the other one is going to panic. 4. Moves back into the fire pit. I don't know why you'd run back into the location where you and all your friends were just murdered, but I guess some people would. And back to my turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I have a maximum hand limit of 10. I'm currently at 8. Let's see if I can make use of this. So first, we need to get rid of that. So focus. A 1 is not going to do it at all. I'm going to lose 2 time because of that. Oh, and one of these should be back over here. Let's do close call. Instead of losing 2 time, let's do close call and see if we can hold on to that and actually get a success. 1. That's not going to work. Gut walks, weak attacks, short rest, search, guard, sprint. None of these are going to get rid of. All right, let's just double down. Let's try to get that first aid kit. That is a success. I get to take this. Every time you use an action card to successfully heal, you may heal an additional time. Not bad, so I now block damage and I can regain damage pretty easily. Lose a time because of that, and lose a time, or lose 2 time because of the failed focus attempt. And I think I'm going to end there so that I can pick up distraction and do my best to get rid of some of his time. I think maybe that's the best bet. Down to spend phase. Purchase action cards. Spend all 3 to pick up distraction. I also get focus for free. These are going to be popped back into here. Okay, reset to 6. Killer phase. Killer is going to stab in that location. There is no one there to stab. Flip a tarot card. He just came out of nowhere. Place Hans with the farthest target possible. Okay. Farthest target possible. Draw the next tarot card. He wants fresh blood. If there are no victims on the board, discard and draw the next tarot card. Otherwise, move to the victims, move twice, stab. One of them is going to die. His horror is going to increase. We are now revealing his dark power, which he's going to play with for the rest of the game. Dark Obsession. Whenever Hans attacks the final girl, at least once, attack an additional time. Good. Good to know that he's just gonna continue attacking me. It's like furious kicks in Kingdom Death. Perfect. You're going to panic, or potentially not. 3 will cause you to leave this location. You're going to run from Makeout Point to the cliffs, screaming about the lover who was just murdered. I think this is where you can hear kind of the panicked cry echoing throughout the entire cavern. And that is going to be the end of the killer's phase. Rearrange items. I'm happy with where my items are. I've already restocked the deck. It's back up to my turn. I need to get rid of his horror. Now, let's do distraction. No, let's do focus first. Hopefully get a success on this one. And then do the higher powered one. A 3. A 3 I can discard cards to guarantee a success. Let's do that. Walk and weak attack. Okay. Costs me a time, gets rid of his horror by 1. Now, distraction. This is where I get to roll 2 dice, and let's go ahead and get 2 successes. 3 and a 2. That is neither a success nor a second success. Walk and short rest. Get rid of those. Give me a success. Success is going to give me a time. Get rid of his horror by 1. And then maybe let's start sprinting. Try to get this last person saved. I mean, I'm already at a point where I'm not going to be able to get... Unless he spawns more people, I'm not going to be able to save enough people to unlock my final ability. So maybe I go after him. Or maybe I search for more items. Maybe we stay here and do our best to find some more items. So pause here. Let's spend 1 on a search. And let's go ahead and get some buffing. Let's do a Furious Strike for 4. So I can potentially deal with him if he comes into my location. We'll reset back up to 6. And we are moving down to the killer phase. Let me go ahead and restock the market. Let me go ahead and restock the market phase here. If you can hear dogs barking in the background, that is a new feature of our new studio. I will have to listen and adjust accordingly. We'll see. Hopefully it's not too bad. We have 3 Great Pyrenees, all of which like to go in the back and bark at the geese, which is a reasonable thing to do. I mean, if I had geese, I would also spend my time barking at them. Whatever the case. All right, we're moving to the killer's phase. Stabs in that location. Then he's going to move. Run for your life. If there are no victims on the terror board, discard the card. Nope. All victims must panic except for the victims in the same space as the final girl. So these victims are all going to panic. Okay. So let's see where they go. First, the fire pit here. That is a 1. You're going to be staying exactly where you are. And then the cliffside. That is a 6. You, for some reason, run away screaming after your lover just got murdered, and maybe you hear kind of the final cries of his, and you sneak back into the location just to see if the evil Hans the Butcher is gone. He is not gone. He's going to target you. He's going to stab you. Another victim of the horror movie trope, the innocent lover peeking back in on the location. That is going to buff him by 1. Which is horrible. And then he is going to move. So he is going to move in the direction, he's going to move out of that location. And we have one more terror card before we reveal his top ability there. Okay, moving back up to my turn, I have my action phase. Let's go ahead and search this location, rolling 2 dice. Neither of them are going to be a success. And I really don't want to spend my stuff to make them that, but if I don't, he would gain 2 horror, and I would lose 2 time. Let's do it. Guard and sprint are going to be paid. I'm going to lose 1 time. I get the top card. Fireworks. Discarding fireworks during the action phase for 2 time. To place this in your space or an adjacent space, not the lake. Whenever the killer must choose a target, they will choose the fireworks instead. Discard the fireworks when the killer enters the space where it is located. So I can distract him a little bit. Maybe plan for something to happen. This would have been good to pair with the bear trap. We'll stick that in my backpack. He only has 1 card left. So I might be in trouble either way. Purchase phase. I have 5 that I can spend to purchase items. Let's buy a sprint for 2. Let's buy a guard for 2. Let's buy a close call for 1. It's going to be all of them. Back up to 6. Restock the market here. And get all of my single kind of free ones back into my hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 exactly. I am starting to get concerned. Okay. Moving on to Hans. Killer ability is to stab. He doesn't have anyone to target. He just keeps coming. He's going to target me or a victim. I'm the closest, I believe. He's going to move. His current movement is 2. Oh, so we should have actually moved farther there. So 1, 2. And he's going to stab in that location. He is unable to stab, but his horror level does go up by 1. Okay, that is the killer's move. We are now out of terror cards, which is going to be bad news because he's going to flip over his sort of final volley or final action there and begin doing that for the rest of the game. I need to be prepared to fight, well, yesterday. And I'm not. I'm even doing better this time than I did the last few times I've played it. I'm still not really prepared. So what do I have? I got a lot of movement, which could be good. I can focus quite a bit to try to reduce the amount of terror he has. Or I could just move in and try to take him by surprise and lay down some damage immediately because I have some furious strikes. Maybe that's a reasonable thing to do. I'm not going to be able to reduce his focus enough to ever get out of this 2 dice roll. So let's give this a try. Let's walk into his location. That is a success. I get to move by 1. Spend a time. Let's start attacking. Start with a weak attack. 2 and 2. That is going to be... Oh, no. That is a critical fail. I don't have the opportunity to discard cards in order to make that a success. So I walk in, rushing at him, ready, kind of flickering that flashlight. And I have to end my turn immediately. And I take a damage. So I maybe trip on the way coming in or something like that. Either way, that was a bad It was a bad round, you know? I get to spend on cards. Now I use 2 cards here so I can fill my hand up to 2 more. And I have 5 left. Let's go ahead and buy a guard for 2 and a improvise for 3. Seems reasonable. These 2 free ones are going to pop in over here. I won't get them till the next turn. And let's figure out what Hans is going to be doing. Dark, darker, darkest. He's going to be targeting either of us. He's going to be moving twice, stabbing once. When revealed, draw a second dark power card. Good. Okay. Dark power card number 2. Feed. For every victim that Hans kills, he receives health. I don't love the title of that. Feed. Okay, great. So, he's going to target me. Doesn't need to move. I'm already in the location with him. He's going to stab. When he stabs, he's going to do an additional damage for each stab. Whenever he attacks the final girl, he's going to attack a second time. So, he is potentially doing a total of 6 damage. Start with the first attack and resolve it. I don't get to do that. I can reduce it by 1, so 2 damage is coming my direction at the moment. And let's do a guard. So play the guard card. And I have 1 success. I could spend cards to reduce... I think I'm good here. I'll take 1 damage because it's going to cut that damage in half. He's going to attack me a second time. Okay. So let's do another guard. 2 damage potentially coming my way because I have the trash can lid. 2 successes, cancel all damage. I'm still in this. That is both of, well, that, 4, 3, rounded down. Okay, I'm still good. I forgot to add Unholy Rage, but the numbers still mathed out the same way. So I'm still in this location with him. That is the end of his turn. He's going to be doing that for the rest of the game. And it is on to me. I think I'm going to fight him and then I'm going to run away. That's my thought. Or drop some fireworks and have him target those, potentially, possibly. We will see. Let's do... Oh, but I am now... I'll need to buy Retaliate because I'm out of guards. And I'm not going to be able to... I could run here and get back to the utility shed. So it would take him longer to get to me. I might want to do that. So, start with Furious Strike. Rolling 2. Oh, let's actually start with Improvise. So, until the action phase... Alright. For the next horror roll only, all 3s and 4s are successes. Now, Furious Strike. 4 and a 3, both of those are successes. 2 damage coming to him. That'll knock off that power card. Reduce his horror by 1. Now let's see what we want to do. We have short rests. Seems good. We have some sprints. Let's start with a walk. 1 success. That's good enough. That's all I need. Let's move out of his location into the cabins. Cabins are connected to the utility shed. Let's go ahead and do a sprint to move in there. A 3. I can spend 2 cards to make that a... So spend both of these. Oh, let's actually keep this. Let's spend both of our focus. Move across here. And I can move 1 more. Let's discard the fireworks to start with. Oh. Yeah, let's place the fireworks here. And I can move up to 2 spaces with a sprint. So actually move here. Let's play the fireworks here. So he's actually going to be moving in the direction of the fireworks. Okay. And then let's do a short rest. Little risky. Oh, and I forgot to do my time. So walk, sprint. Short rest is a little risky, but I would like to get that health back. 3. That's why it was risky. So I gain a health. He gains a terror. I lose a time, and I end my turn, which is okay because I was planning on ending my turn anyway. End of my round, I get 2 spend cards. So I'm going to get both of these back into my deck. And then I have 3 to spend. I'd like to get that retaliate, but I'm not going to be able to. Let's go ahead and buy another improvise. Okay, these are going to get put back. Oh, and I almost forgot, because I did a heal action, my first aid is actually going to heal me one more time as well. So we're doing our very best to maintain this. All right, Killer phase. Killer is going to be performing his basic attack up here. So he is targeting either of us, but he's actually targeting the fireworks and moving a total of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Moves into here. The fireworks go away. It was a successful distraction. And that is going to be the end of his turn. Moving down to me. Upkeep phase. I'm good with the items I have in my hand. We're moving back up to the action phase. So I have a weak attack. I could move in there, improvise, and weak attack to get another hit of damage on him. But then I'd be in a location with him. Or I could potentially try to move back over here to the cabins and avoid him just a little bit more. Try to buy some guards, because he might target... He's close enough, he will target that victim. That's not terrible for me either. Let's do that. Walk for 2. Critical fail. Could move 1 space, or I could stay there. I really don't want to lose the damage. Stay right where I am. Let's buy some things. All of these are coming back into my hand. I have... lose 2. I have 4 total. Let's buy Furious Strike. Let's go after him, because he's going to come after me. End of my turn. This pops back up to 6. And he is going to be able to do his phase. He's moving into my location, and he is stabbing. Now, he's going to attack twice for a total potential damage of 6. Let's start with the first attack. 3 damage coming my direction, reduced by 1. 2 damage coming my direction. Can I mediate that at all? Did I buy anything? I didn't. So 2 damage. Second attack, same thing. 2 damage coming my direction. I am wounded, but I am not out of this. Upkeep phase. You pop on back here. Good with everything that's in my hands. And let's start with... Yeah. So improvise. That is 2 successes for the rest of the action phase. 3s and 4s are successes. So let's start with the weak attack, because that has doesn't have a likelihood of taking him out. Oh, 2 fails. That's really bad. That's not what I wanted. 2 fails means I don't get to mediate that. I take a damage. And my round's over. So I can buy things. Let's buy a critical blow, just in case. Oh, no. Let's buy 2 guards for 4. And I have 2 left. Just in case I maybe get another turn. Let's buy a sprint, and this walk's going to pop back into my hand. Okay, these are going to populate back down here. Improvise pops up there. It was such a good starting roll, and then such a horrible second roll. Killer phase. He's already in a location with me. He's going to attack me twice, but I can play my guards. So first attack. 2 damage coming my way because of my shield. 1 success. We'll reduce that by half. Let's go ahead and guarantee it to be a second success. Get rid of both my walks. So 2 successes cancel all hits. I'm good. Second attack coming my way. Gonna play another guard. Could pay 4 cards. Now, there is a chance. So, you know in the horror movies where someone comes back to life, you think they're dead, and then you like have this hand move or a deep suck in of breath, and they're suddenly there again? That can happen in this game. That is this final token. I have a randomized selection of them. We each got one of them. So there's a chance I might be able to come back from the dead and still have a little bit more life left in me, but I think the best chance to do that is to just spend the cards necessary to guarantee successes. So 2 and 2 and 2. It's 4, guarantees both of those. I don't take any more damage. I'll at least be able to get one more round in here. I don't have a lot, but I might be able to heal, and I might be able to do a Furious Strike. Okay. Alright, upkeep phase. These don't populate back in there because they were spent throughout this turn. Items, I'm happy with where they are. Back up to the top of my round. I'm going to start with a short rest to try to get some health back before I do my Furious Strike, because there's a chance the Furious Strike ends my round. 2 successes. Awesome. 2 health pops in here. Then the Furious Strike. Oh, that was a success on the ground, which is bad because then I might not get a success here. 2 more successes, 2 hits, and his horror goes down by 1. I am surprisingly still in this. Okay, spend phase. Neither of those costed time. I have 6 that I can buy with. Let's buy a Retaliate for 4. Let's buy... Well, I get weak attack back. Oh, let's buy a Sprint. Oh, no. Let's buy a Close Call. All of these are going to get put back where they go. Back up to the killer's turn. He is going to get 2 more chances to attack me, which is good and bad. Good because I got health back. Bad because he's still stabbing me, right? This is an epic battle that's going down here. So he lifts up and swings his hammer one more time. 2 more damage coming towards my face. I can play a Retaliate. I need 2 successes here. Neither of those are successes. I could discard my cards. Let's do that. Reduce damage by half, rounded down. That's going to be 1 damage coming my way. And he is going to take a damage himself. So I duck out of the way and jab a blade of glass that I picked up from the ground into his kneecap. But I now know I have nothing left. So his 2 damage is coming. 1. Did he have one? Oh, no, he didn't either. So it could have been like that. So I spend the very last bit of my energy jabbing a piece of glass into his kneecap, and then find myself on the backward swing, the hammer coming back down and just impaling into kind of the side of my jaw. And then as he lifts back up, I feel myself kind of come up off the ground. He looks at me, his kind of pig-faced mask gazing back at me for just a moment. And then I feel kind of blackness envelop me. I feel a weight fall down my spine. And he just lets me go. And I hit the ground, slump back down, and everything turns black. And I have no health left. So, that is Final Girl. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for hopefully enjoying the flavor text. If you are a fan of horror movies, I hope I have accurately displayed the way that a story can be built and sort of visualized through the course of this game. I just think it is so cool. And like I said, I'm going to be playing the Poltergeist at the Creepy Manor directly after this for the Patreon community. So if you enjoy this game, if you want to see more, swing over there and check that out. I'm going to do something different. I try to do experimental things with the Patreon community, And so the way I was just describing parts of this through visual storytelling, it's the way that I experience games. In the creepy manner, I'm going to do my very best to not talk about how the game's played at all, not talk through the strategy, but actually just sit there and talk through what I'm visualizing as I play. Try to do it more of a narrative form of gameplay. I'm not sure how it'll work, but I think it might be interesting. This is just a really cool game. Green Mouse wins again. So that's a 3 or 4 to 0 loss ratio to him. Especially when you go back and do the math on things that we get wrong or miss throughout the course of the game. So that is Final Girl. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are already a backer or this video convinced you to go check out the Kickstarter page and back, leave a comment down below letting me know your favorite classic horror movies, some of the tropes you'd like to play throughout the course of this game, expansions or Final Girls you'd like to see kind of referenced or exhibited, and also leave a quack over there on the Kickstarter page just letting them know that you appreciated the time that went into this and that you'd like vanryder Games to send us more stuff to preview and show off to the community down the road. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you being here. Whatever you do, though, remember to do the important thing. Get out and play some games. See you next time. Thank you.